The kingfish gets killed on this day. Welcome back to On This Day. Today's date is September 8th, 2023. It is the 251st day of the year. There are 114 days left in 2023. It is the 36th Friday in the 36th week and the 80th day of summer. You got 15 days left until fall. I know some parts of the country are just sweltering right now. Last week we had some rain. It was a little cool, but it looks like we're back to heat next week. Today is National Star Trek Day. People around the world mark Star Trek Day on September 8th to celebrate the legacy of one of the best stories, films, and TV shows in history. As one of the most beloved works of pop culture, Star Trek still enjoys a loyal fan base even many years after it ended. Sure, it still goes on in other types, but that original one obviously ended in the 1960s. On this day in 1966, they premiered the episode called The Man Trap. Even though it's one of the most famous TV series of all time, it only lasted 3 seasons, a total of 79 episodes. Now, the original Nielsen ratings were pretty low and people kind of blew it off. It didn't get popular till it went into syndication in the 1970s. All right, let's see what else September 8th has given us. 1883, the Northwest Pacific Railroad, or marked as NP, was completed in a ceremony at Gold Creek, Montana. Former President Ulysses S. Grant drove the final golden spike in the event. It was attended by rail and political luminaries. I think that may be the first time in my life I've ever used the word luminaries in a sentence. 1900, the Galveston hurricane. A powerful hurricane hits Galveston, Texas, killing 8,000 people. That's insane. These days, if a hurricane kills 20 people, it is devastating. 8,000 people. 1935, U.S. Senator from Louisiana, Huey Long, is fatally shot in the Louisiana State Capitol building. Huey P. Long, or Huey Pierce Long Jr., also known as the Kingfish, was an American politician. He was the 40th governor of Louisiana from 1928 to 1932, and a U.S. senator from 1932 until he was killed in 1935. As a member of the Democratic Party, Long was well known during the Great Depression. He criticized President Roosevelt and the New Deal because he felt it wasn't doing enough. In Louisiana, Long had a lot of supporters and often took strong actions. People have mixed feelings about him. I mean, he was pretty much, people say he was kind of corrupt. Some see him as a hero for the poor, while others see him as a dangerous leader. On September 8th, 1935, Long went to the state capitol building to change the boundaries of Judge Benjamin Pavey's district. Basically, he was going there to do some gerrymandering. This man had been in office, the judge, for 28 years. That night after the change passed, Pavey's son-in-law, Carl Weiss, allegedly shot Long at close range. Long's guards fired back, killing Weiss. Weiss was found to have been shot over 60 times. Even though he was injured, Long made it to Our Lady of the Lake Hospital. Despite surgeries, he died early on September 10th. People claim his last words were about his concern over university students or his unfinished work. Over 200,000 people attended Long's funeral in Baton Rouge on September 12th. He was buried at the Capitol with a statue built on his grave. While some believe Long's death was politically motivated, investigations didn't support this. His death brought relief to Roosevelt's administration, who later won the 1936 election with ease. Huey Long was definitely one of the most, I wouldn't say odd, but he was definitely an interesting politician. One of the most interesting we've had, I think. 1960, in Huntsville, Alabama, U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower formally dedicates the Marshall Space Flight Center. NASA had already activated the facility on July 1st. This was just like the naming ceremony. 1988, Yellowstone National Park is closed for the first time in U.S. history due to ongoing fires. 2022, Queen Elizabeth II of the United Kingdom dies in Scotland after reigning for over 70 years. Her son, Prince Charles of Wales, ascends to the throne upon her death as Charles III. You know, I imagine if you're in line for the throne, you want to take the throne. It's not something I'd want. I mean, that sounds like a big hassle to me. But if you're one of those people that wants to ascend to it, you're in a tough situation with that. You'd like to get to the crown, but you don't want your mom to die. Or your dad if he's the king. I mean, that man's 74 years old right now. If he gets another 20 years in, he'd be lucky. Premiered on August 8th, The Ellen DeGeneres Show. This was a comedy talk show who actually won more daytime Emmy Awards than the previous record holder, The Oprah Winfrey Show. Now, I don't know if you watched the news about this. Ellen, when she was a stand-up comedian, was pretty funny. Then apparently she was a nightmare when she was running this show. Yeah, after her show went on hiatus during the COVID thing, everyone came out and said it was just a nightmare to work for her. Then past guests said that it was a nightmare to be on her show. I think it was the guys from the TV show Jackass. I think they're the ones that were dealing with her and they were going to be on the show. And then they just walked one day. They're all, we're not doing this show. And they left. And they kind of hinted on this podcast that they weren't the only ones to do that. Born on September 8th, 1941, Bernie Sanders, independent politician who was elected a U.S. Senator from Vermont in 2007. He previously represented Vermont in the House of Representatives from 1991 to 2007. He is the longest-serving independent in U.S. congressional history. He launched a campaign in 2016 for the presidential election, asking others to join him in a political revolution. I don't want to get political on this show. I mean, it's not. I'm not going to get different sides or anything like that. But just what I know of the 2016 election, I think he got hosed by the Democrats. They wanted Hillary Clinton to be the nominee and not him. But I honestly think he had more support. Unfortunate. Anyway, he lived in Brooklyn, New York. He is the son of Polish Jews. He received his BA in political science in 1964. He served as a mayor of Burlington, Vermont from 1981 to 1989, and he has described himself as a democratic socialist. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a great day, and be nice to each other.